Nonverbal communication is made up of visual, tactile, and vocal signals, and the use of time, space, and image. In a face-to-face conversation, 83% of the meaning can come from nonverbal channels. Often a person says a thing but communicates something totally different throughout the vocal intonations and body language. Like, let's say, someone asks you for permission to go somewhere, and then you say like, oh sure, very like if you say oh sure, or you can say like oh sure, like it's gonna say totally different things, like oh sure, like okay, yeah sure, you can go. It's like yeah, you can go. But if you say like oh sure, like sure whatever, it's like no, you better not go. And the visual communication can be also called as body language and kinesics. The face is the best communicator of nonverbal messages. Different cultures impose emotional restraints to hold back true feelings, and the same facial expression can mean different things in different cultures. Like, for example, agreement is indicated by up and down head nods in American culture, but it's expressed by side-by-side head movements in India. The eye contact allows us to read and communicate. Posture provides clues about the attitude and better. Gestures combine facial expressions and posture movements and indicates meaning. For example, the eye contact in some Latin American cultures, some people with lower status are not supposed to look directly to the face of a higher status individuals. And in the U.S., lack of eye contact could be interpreted as sign of, let's say, like you're not trusty. And on the posture, in a shift in posture means that something is changing, but it's up to the receiver to figure it out what. And on the gestures, like a salute, a tip of the hat, a handshake, a wink on the eye can mean like a handshake, like it's like low, or a tip of the hat is like giving some respect or something. And you say things without saying them, you're just doing them. And the use of touch is important mean as a handshake, a pat on the back, an arm around shoulder, or push for a slap. Gentle touching as hand on an arm, a kiss or hug indicates support, liking, or intimacy. And pushing can mean something like aggressive, and you're not saying anything but you're being aggressive. And the vocal communications are how things are said, as exemplified by a common phrase. It's not what you say but how you say it. Changing the intonation of the voice can alter the meaning. The most important aspect of vocal intonation is a change in vocal quality. Like, for example, changing the intonation for the voice when you say no, it can express mild doubt, terror, anger, or given a command. And vocal intonation, when people change their vocal qualities, it's a sign that they are communicating something extra. And time is a scarce, continuous, and irreversible source. So who we spend time with and how much of it we give to someone communicates our feelings about who and what are important to us. Like us, like we have, all of us, we have like we have school, we have work, and we have really busy lives. So where it's up to us, like some people show more interested in the group, on doing on the meetings and everything. Like we can interpret like the lack of communication from the other team members, because like we can, well, we think like that they don't care, but maybe they do, where they didn't communicate that. So yeah. Chromatics. Chromatics refers to the use of physical space to communicate. The three main dimensions of proximatics that are used for communications are the territory, things, and personal space zones. On territory, we suddenly say things by manipulating space. Like, how do you feel when you return from a class break and you find someone sitting on your seat? It's like you don't get mad, but you're like, wow, that's my seat. Like, what are you doing there? And when you walk into a meeting, you establish a semi-private territory by fixing mobile objects, like laying out notebooks and folders, placing coffee cup on the table, or hanging a jacket on the chair. Like when you go in and you wanna sit there, but you're gonna get up, you place the jacket on the chair. That way, someone else can know that chair is taken, and you can, like, someone else cannot sit there, and you're communicating something without saying anything. We have the things within your space also communicate to others. For example, a clean desk or a palm pilot communication efficiency. Expensive things can communicate higher status than cheap ones. And the personal space, we all carry an invisible personal territory, much like a private air bubble. So we feel a proprietary right to our air bubble space and resent others entering it unless we're invited. People can be classified into major proxemics categories: the non-contact, like Americans and Northern Europeans, and contact as Arabs and Latinos. The image communication. First impressions are made by the initial impact of your clothing, voice, grooming, handshake, eye contact, body posture. Like when you see someone and they have the shirt, their pants torn or something, we tend to think like they don't care, or well, yeah. And when you see someone wearing glasses with their clothes iron and everything, we think like we think of them as they are very, like, professional persons. Well, yeah, yeah, that's it. Thank you.